Just look at that ice cream right there. I wanted to make this video because there's a couple different versions of the Ninja CREAMi now, and if you're thinking about getting your first one, you might be wondering, which one should you actually get? Which one's the best for you? So today I'm just gonna be breaking down the features and some of the benefits of each one, so that way you can see which one is best for you. So Ninja actually has 3 different options now for the Ninja CREAMi. They first came out with this one. It's called the Ninja CREAMi 301. This is the first one that they released. It was a great option, super popular. So after they released that, then they came out with the Ninja CREAMi Deluxe, which is basically a more powerful version. It's a little bit bigger. And then recently, after releasing that, they came out with the Ninja CREAMi Swirl, which essentially is like this, but then it also allows you to make soft serve ice cream. All right, so first off, when talking about these 3 machines, I just want to go over the overall size and design. So as you can see, the first Ninja CREAMi, the 301, is basically the same size as the Ninja Deluxe. However, there's a lot more features on the Ninja Deluxe. And then if you go over here to the Ninja Swirl, essentially the swirl on this half is like the same size as the Ninja Deluxe. However, you have this whole swirl section for the soft serve ice cream that basically makes it double the size. And so that's something to think about if you're thinking about getting one of these CREAMi machines. Do you have the space for it? These can all fit under normal size cabinets in your kitchen. However, this one's going to be twice the size essentially. These 2 are very similar sizes, and so I wouldn't say size really matters when you think about the Deluxe and the first version. But when you think about the Swirl, this one's going to take a lot more space. And so, do you have space in your cabinets? Do you have space in your pantry? That is something to think about. And talking about the size, another thing to think about is just the amount of ice cream that you get with each one. So that is one upgrade from the Deluxe from the regular version. As you can see here, you have a much smaller pint size container. And so over here, basically the Deluxe is twice the size as the first version. And so if you're someone that wants to make ice cream and you want to have a really big serving for your whole family and stuff like that, you don't want to have to mix multiple every single night, the Deluxe is going to be the better option, just because you basically can make twice as much ice cream in one jar versus the first version that's a lot smaller. And then going over here to the Ninja Swirl, they actually made it smaller again. And so first they upgraded from the original one, made it a little bit bigger for the Deluxe version, and then for the Ninja Swirl, they actually made it quite a bit smaller again. It's essentially almost the same size as the first version, maybe a little bit more. And I think that's just because it allows it to fit in this soft serve section right here. And here are the actual jars right here, just to give you a better idea. So here are them, kind of side by side. As you can see, the Deluxe is, taller and wider than the first version, and the Swirl is just as tall as the Deluxe. However, it's a lot skinnier. And so essentially, if you want the most ice cream possible, the Deluxe is going to be the way to go, just because you're going to be able to fit basically twice as much ice cream than the Swirl or, the original CREAMi. But that's also not really that big of an issue, just because all of these machines come with 2 containers. And so you could just make 2 of these containers, and then you'd be able to get, the same size essentially as one of the Ninja Deluxe. Or you could just buy even more containers, and then you could just have basically as much ice cream as you want. But with that being said, you just have